The reason why we need to address it now,
Mhm.
I keep up with sports. I keep up with sports. I keep up with professional sports. I keep up with college sports, and I keep up with high school. Not because I'm just so in love with it that way, even though I do. I keep up with it because I'm keeping up with the young men who are playing it. They're all, you see them, they're phenomenal in their talent. But the thing that we're talking about now is not across the board. So they lack morals, they lack character, they lack integrity, they lack ethics.
Okay.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another episode of the New Balance podcast, where we are calibrating for success. It's your host, H2O, and I'm so glad to be back with you. To my podcast family, the tribe, how I missed you. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for supporting. Yes, we are in year 3. And as we say, look, let's subscribe, let's like, let's share. Today, I don't want to waste a lot of time talking about me. You know how we do it. When you're fam, you just come in, go in the refrigerator, get your drink, and we sit down and start playing cards. New Balance podcast. I want you to put your hands together and welcome Shatrice Williams and Charmaine Williams, the Williams sisters. Come on, show some love. What's up, Williams?
Hello.
Good, good, good. So, hey, this is nothing new. My podcast family, they know how we roll. Did I nail the names right? Shatrice and Charmaine. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yes.
Chartrice and Charmaine.
Charmaine. See, all right. I'm 2 for 2, 2 for 2, 2 for 2, 2 for 2. Man, it's so good to be on with you, ladies. How are y'all this day? I say day. I won't say morning. This day.
We're
How you
great.
doing? Y'all are great.
We're great. Glad to be here.
Yes.
Yes, I'm so glad to be here. The other thing that I'm really um, excited about, this podcast is really unique to me too. I'm getting ready to start a new series, and I can kind of let the cat out the bag. I'm gonna do a 2-month series on a topic that's really near and dear to my heart, and I think I see it in our society. I'm naming it "Come Up for Air." It's though when I look at the landscape of different areas, different movements, and you get the heartbeat, it's like many people are drowning in just a myriad of different situations, circumstances. And one of the ways I think I can bring value and add value is we can help people come up for air, right? Fish are designed to swim in the water. We were never designed to swim in water. We don't have gills. Maybe when we think of water and we think of people, it's designed for us. It's a fun time. You see people splashing in the pool or relaxing in the pool or people swimming in the beach. It was never designed for us to live in it. It was never designed for us to dwell in it, right? Even though I know they have scuba gear and they have all these things where we can go underwater to see, but in terms of living, we were never designed to be underwater for long periods of time. So when you think about what the pandemic did and things that people are dealing with, you just see people submerged under all of these things that they were never designed to be submerged under. And so when we can figure out how we can come up for air, sometimes just being able to get your breath. What do you say? Hold on, just give me a minute. Let me just hold on. Just give me a moment. It's a symbol of just, hey, let me come up for air. Let me get my breath. Sometimes things are so overwhelming. I received some phone calls, a phone call this morning that was very, very overwhelming. And as heartbreaking as the phone call was, I still had to come up for air. There are times when you are a leader, when you're a parent, when you're a business owner, maybe whatever it is, if you're just a stay-home mom, whatever it is, all of us have those moments where we have to just grab, get a grip, and then come up for air. So I'm excited about releasing that. I want you guys to stay tuned. But I really sense that being on with the Williams sisters today is going to be a setup for over the next 2 months. So I'm excited to delve in with you ladies. So that's enough of me talking. Ladies, tell us a little bit about yourselves, who you are, what you do in life, and we'll dive in right there.
Okay, well, I'm Chartrice Williams. I am a fifth grade math teacher, and I've been teaching for about 10 years now. And writing wasn't always something that was first nature, but it's become something that we like to do over time now because we saw that it was a need for it.
That's good.
Yes. My name is Charmaine Williams, and I am a second grade teacher. I teach all subjects. I've been teaching for about 5 years now, and I've been an avid book lover, and I like to really show that to my students about the different books that we read.
Gosh, I got it. So we have on today sisters, but they're both educators, right? And we'll delve into them in education as it relates to school, but I also see them as educators in life. I've had some time to talk to these two young ladies, and kind of like in the Transformer movie, it's more to them than meets the eye. And what I like about when you meet people, I love finding out and seeing the diversity. I think that's the thing that makes us stronger. And when we can not only just honor and respect each other, but when we can come together and you can be honest and be like, I'm really not strong in this area, but you're strong in this area, and us being together or working together can make the whole sum better. Like, man, Chartrice, man, we could have been best friends in school. Math was my worst subject, right? I don't know I do know what it was. Numbers intimidated me.
They are. And it's really ironic that I became a math teacher because all through school, I struggled in math.
Wow.
I was not good with the numbers. It took me a long time to process things. It was like when I was taught something, I would have to go home and think about it. It's like I had to internalize it. And so down the road, I become a math teacher. I mean, it's kind of strange, but I mean, sometimes you don't understand something until you have to actually think about the process of it and think about how you would tell somebody else how to do it. And so I think when you think about those concepts, then it kind of makes sense. But if you would have told me when I was in middle school struggling that I would become a math teacher, I would have never believed it.
Wow. Is it safe to say, Chartrice, that just your makeup, how you're wired, you're a thinker. You think I'm gonna think things through.
I am a thinker.
I have to figure it out. Now, the reason I want to pinpoint these things because it's good to help other people understand, like if they can, well, the sooner that they can understand it about themselves, it'll help them pinpoint their purpose and their passion. Like you said, struggling through it at a young age and dealing with all the fears and all the phobias that go along with it. If someone would have said, perhaps career day, what would you want to be? Math teacher would not have come up. But sometimes the answer to the problem is just that it's in the problem. Now, I'm still not a great math student in terms of all the different types of math. Obviously, I can do the basics and all those different, I can handle that. But when you start talking about trig and calculus and whatever, all those other names I won't be able to do them. Now, what I understand at this season of my life is I know how to partner with someone like a Chartrice to help me get the results that I need. And I think those things we have to take into consideration. So there may be things you face that are very fearful, but sometimes the answer to the problem is it's in the problem. In school, what do we call them? They were word problems, right?
Right. Word problems.
Right. They were word problems. Like those were the worst for me. I'm like, let's just do the other kind Why do I have to read the story to try to figure out the problem? And I'm already struggling with the problem. And now I got another problem. And so now I was the type of student, once I got uninterested in it, in my mind, I'm looking out the window, I'm thumping somebody in the back of the head, all these different things. And what happens to it is we end up with labels, we end up being categorized as a certain student, where really what I needed was kind of special attention with somebody to come through, because I'm a tactile learner. If I see it, then I can learn it. Or, you know, I might need a couple of trips around the block with it. But once I see it and you show me, I can get it. Back then, we didn't have a lot of that back then, you know. So you perhaps may be dealing with some things in life. Maybe if you just get a different learning style, or maybe if you're just having that type of problem with it, maybe look deeper within it. It may be an answer in it for you. So that's kind of cool that you share that one thing you struggled in, now you help others be successful in. I love it.
That's true.
Charmaine, you said that you teach all the different subjects. Man, so talk a little bit about being a teacher with so much diversity. Like, I know for me, if I was a teacher, I'd probably just be a history teacher, right? But if they asked me to go into the English class, I'm like, we're gonna be in trouble today. Right? So talk a little bit about being a teacher and having to deal with the diversity of the different lessons or subjects that you teach.
Sure. So it's really nice teaching second grade. I teach the different subjects like math, reading, social studies, and science. So it's nice being able to generalize some topics into, for instance, with reading. With reading, you have to do it in all the different subjects, especially in math with word problems. In science, you have to be able to read whatever topic we're talking about, and the same for social studies. And there's some social studies topics that we can cover in reading. So it's very diverse, the different things that we're able to teach the students. I know with the new math, it can be very confusing, especially in second grade, because there's some topics that I learned personally in third or fourth grade, and we're touching on in second grade. So it's very nice to teach the students the new math and the different strategies for math, for reading, especially. But it's a great experience to be able to teach them all the different subjects, especially in second grade.
Yeah, you said a key word. You said reading. When you see the deficit of us not being able to read well, we have to focus on just those basics. And it's great that you have the mind that even though I teach all these different subjects, there's a commonality in all of them. And so, like, if you're able to read across the board, science, English, this, math, within for a student that's maybe lacking confidence, or even maybe just lacking confidence in themselves, it can help build confidence and assurance. And we see a kid begin to have confidence, we know there's nothing that they can't accomplish. So that approach to pull out this particular thing, if we can we'll just start here, right? Let's focus on the reading. They see how it comes across in every piece. They're like, just the simple things that you're sharing, these are things like, I don't want to date myself, but let's just say a little while ago when I was in school, you know, a lot of times we did not have that. And then for the most part too, we didn't have a lot of teachers that looked like me. I had two, Ms. Hutchinson and Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman, no, I'm sorry. What am I talking about, Ms. Coleman? Ms. Coleman was one of my English teachers. Miss Rulledge and Miss Hutchinson. Miss Rulledge, she was an English teacher. And then Miss Hutchinson was a history teacher. Those were the only two teachers of color, right? And so for kids like me, you know, it's like, wow, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe we don't have very many teachers, right? But things have grown and changed so much. So diversity is really good. You guys, you both teach. One teaches second grade, one teaches fifth grade. So if you have a parent that's on here who may have one of these children like myself in their home, what words of wisdom would you share with them in terms of just kind of encouraging them to help them come up in areas where, you know, they're struggling? What could be, I don't want to say, I don't like the word cheat code, but I know that's a term that hey, this is a shortcut, or I don't really like those words, but we know those are used in these times. What just methods that you could just encourage parents to do just to help their kids, because you guys see it firsthand and you see it in a variety of ways. So whoever wants to go first.
I would say for parents to understand that teachers are not a person that you can be ashamed to come to or embarrassed to come to. We are always willing to teach, whether it be the student or the parent, and we're always happy to be there for you. So I think that sometimes some parents feel like because they may not be as educated as a teacher, or they feel like they're intimidated by us, but we're just looking to help your child as best as possible. And we really want parents to understand that we are a part of your village.
Absolutely.
I mean, it takes a village to raise a child, and we are a part of a village. We are not the entire village, but we are a part of the village. And so we are always willing to help. And so if you would like to reach out to us, always feel welcome to reach out to us. But when we reach out to you, we would expect the same in return, that you would be there, because it's for your child. And so parents have to understand the successes of their child are theirs, and the failures of your child are there. And so we want to make sure that there is less failure and more success. And so we're just always willing to help. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever issue that it is, we are willing to help.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, my sister touched on really good points. I would say also the same things that my sister said, but also, just having daily conversations with your child, really working on the key things that your child works on at school, reading with them every night, practicing math. I know the new math can be very confusing, but just practicing with them. And also, I know many of the strategies that we learned as children, you can still teach your child. It doesn't matter what strategy you use. It's just as long as we can't come to the same answer.
Right.
But I think those are key things and to work on with your child. And always, if you need assistance or support, to reach out to your child's teacher or whoever you work with at your child's school, just to get support, because we're always there to support you and your child.
And if we don't know, we know where to get help from. There are a lot of resources that are given to schools that a lot of parents don't know about. And so we can't help if we don't know that there's a need. So if there's a need, contact anyone at the school. They can help you.
Absolutely. Parents, I hope you're hearing that there are resources for our children. And the biggest thing to pull away from this is you are not in this alone. I bring it up because in my line of work, I see these people. I'm in the communities. I see these children all the time, from the youngest all the way up to high school age. And obviously we know this was like such a tough time during the pandemic. Kids were at home getting the lesson. So when it's time to come back to school, obviously, it's almost like a reintroduction to coming back to the classroom. So
it was
when kids came back, if we be honest, and teachers, like, you teaching was really cut in half, because you was kind of like, you were teaching, you were / security guard / medical doctor / principal / this. It's just all of these different elements, right? And it's a lot to take in, right? It's a lot on both ends, right? But I think when you find yourself having to deal with it, one of the things is communication, and communication. Because like you said, the point of it all is for the child to be successful and to succeed, right?
Right.
I know many times, and here I'll play devil's advocate. You ladies know where I'm going, and you can go with me. Many times I've reached out to the school, and I reached out to the teacher, and she didn't return, or he didn't return my emails. Or when I came up there, they just act disinterested and just excuses. And I won't say all excuses. Maybe in some cases, maybe that's valid, right?
Mhm.
It could be. So to parents who have maybe had to deal with that, what is your advice to them to encourage them to, like, you got to keep pressing, you got to keep with the forward movement with the kids. You can't throw your hands up, say I'm done. What do you, what's the answer, or what's the solution to helping families? Because obviously you guys know your teaching goes outside the four walls of your classroom,
Mhm.
right? It's nothing like kids. Kids have a way of getting up under our skin, and I mean in a good way. Like you love them, you care about them, and you know there are some kids in class you're trying to teach them math, and you already know this kid has a bunch of things he or she is dealing with at home, or stuff they're dealing with at school, bullying, social media. It's so it's so vast, right? And I think sometimes the teaching part kind of takes a back seat because like they need so much other stuff.
Mhm.
So how do you how do, and I know this may be a loaded question, but I want to talk about it because I think the success of it has to be um, based off some merits, right? And I'll say this and then I'll let you guys answer. So I'm going from how I raised my mom when I went to school. Didn't matter what I really came home and said, the teacher was right.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, she was definitely going to investigate it, right?
Mhm.
But just off of the cuff, I told my side of it. She was still, well, the teacher, you know, this is what should happen. This is what the teacher, X, Y, and Z. And so that perspective is how we dealt with situations, right? I
Mhm.
think now it's not like that. I think a lot of times you guys don't get a fair shake um, because of all different type of things, right? We won't chase that down on the podcast. But just because it happens, it doesn't mean that we give up. And so I'm asking a question because I see so many parents, man, they just giving up. It's like if they get it, they get it. They don't get it, they don't get it. And I'm like, okay, like, man, how can I help? How can we help? Not just I, but how can we help them be encouraged? How can we help them stay engaged? I hope I didn't butcher the question too much, but I was trying to articulate it the best way I could, ladies.
Um, Sometimes I've noticed that parents who have those types of views are also the same parents that tend not to um, make time to come to um, open house where the administrators and counselors and everyone who is a part of a leadership team is there to speak with you and to
Right,
help you to understand how things are going, and to share with you the vision of their campus,
right.
basically of where we are now and where we're trying to be. And so
Mhm.
I feel like you have to definitely be involved, and
Yes,
because you have to be in on the plan. And so
right.
if you're lost and not in on the plan, then yes, you will feel like you are unsure about what's going on at your child's school, going on in the
Yeah,
classroom.
right,
And so you really have to take a couple minutes to make yourself known to the situations, and be involved for your child's education. There are lots of
right,
opportunities that schools give you in order to be in the know of everything that's going on. And so when you take those opportunities, then you can say, well, I'm really don't like that they do this, or, maybe we should do a little more in this area. And feedback is always welcome because we're always looking for ways that we can reach out to teachers and to reach out to parents because
right.
like you said before, if a student is going through a lot, we can't teach them. And so,
And
we have taken on the responsibility of making sure that we educate the entire child. And so we want to help to make sure that they are able to do the best that they can and not worry about those other situations around them. So as much as we say be involved, please be involved,
yeah,
because that's the best way that you can know what's going on with your child and know what's going on at the school. And so that way, when situations arise, you can say, well, I do know the character of this person. Let
there you
me
go.
look more into that. Because I mean, a child's view is much different than an adult's view who may have seen
It
the same
is.
thing, but because an adult is looking at the bigger picture, there are other things that children may not have seen. And so I think it is important to listen to the child, but it is also important to be involved and know what's going on the other side as well.
Oh man, that was I love that answer. How about you, Shamari?
Yes, my sister touched on a really good topic of parent involvement. It's very good for parents to be involved at their child's school, whether it's through PTO, coming to parent conferences, coming to different events at the school, just because it's a great way to communicate with your child's teacher, the administration team, the different interventionists and different coaches, especially on those curriculum nights that many schools have. It's a great way to see what your child is learning, and also just kind of get to know the staff, get to know what your child is learning, and also the overall environment of the school. And also many times with messages and things at the school, I think now we're kind of in the age where your parents are able to contact your child's teacher through apps now. And
Right.
so many times a day, we get so many messages. And it's not that the teacher or admin are ignoring at any cost. We're not ignoring at all. That just means that, we just have so many messages and we're trying to teach, during the day, trying to do staff meetings, trying to plan and things like that for next week, but also trying to get through all the messages and contact and respond back to everyone. So if maybe a message or something got ignored, it wasn't by anything personal. It was just like, just trying to get through all the messages. But I think mainly just to have just be involved in your child's education.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm asking you, these are tough. I think these are some tough questions, and you guys are, you're handling them. You're giving us the answers on them. The reason I ask these, I think sometimes it's a false understanding, and I don't put blame on the teacher or the parent. I don't. But one of the things, and I'll speak for parents now, and I'll put myself as the parent. One of the things we have to do, I think it has to be equal opportunity in terms of involvement and commitment.
Right.
Case in point, Lil Johnny plays football. Lil Johnny doesn't miss practice. Whatever coach tells you Lil Johnny needs to be able to play football, Lil Johnny has it. This is what time practice is. I don't care if I got to get off work early, if I got to skip my lunch, I'm gonna be there on time to get Lil Johnny to practice. I'm gonna stay out there for an hour and a half in August with mosquitoes biting, and the coach is calling Lil Johnny everything but Lil Johnny. I sit there, I submit to it, he play, all of that. I come to practice, I even serve at the football games, I bring all these things I submit to. My reason for bringing that up is because I have an outlook and I have a anticipation of what that's gonna yield for Lil Johnny. So my commitment to it is a different level, because I'm looking 12 years down the line, Lil Johnny might be able to get X, Y, and Z. All I'm saying is you have the same outlook as it relates to the classroom.
Right.
You have an equal investment. And I'm using football because I was quote unquote what they call a jock. But you're looking at a jock that was, I played sports and stuff, but also I didn't get to play some because I failed. I didn't fail because I couldn't get the work. I just wasn't committed to it.
Right. Discipline. Discipline should not be a skill that you learn within sports. It should be a skill that you learn in all facets of your life. We see that a lot as teachers, that, our students want to be the next LeBron James, which is great. We have no problem with that. However, LeBron James learned how to be disciplined in his craft. And so discipline is very, very important for the success of your life. And so you should not only be disciplined within sports, we need you disciplined in your studies as well. Right. And so that's something that we see a lot, as in, there are some parents that only show up to field day. And so, that as a teacher, that hurts our heart, because, we've been contacting you for months to let you know and to keep you abreast of how your child is doing academically. Absolutely. And, we did not get an answer for months. And so, and then, we show up to field day. And so, I feel like that tells your child that you are really only interested in sports and you're not interested in their academics. And so learning how to be disciplined is very important to the success of your life.
Before you go, Charmaine, you may say, well, man, this is like, you like beating the bag, or this is too much. I'm gonna tell you why it's not too much. The reason why we need to address it now.
Mhm.
I keep up with sports. I keep up with sports. I keep up with professional sports. I keep up with college sports, and I keep up with high school. Not because I'm just so in love with it that way, even though I do. I keep up with it because I'm keeping up with the young men who are playing it. They're all, you see them, they're phenomenal in their talent. But the thing that we're talking about now is not across the board. So they lack morals, they lack character, they lack integrity, they lack ethics. Like we just saw with the University of Alabama, this young man has been charged with murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
His talent earned him that scholarship, right? Which is great. But the off the field stuff now, he's looking at his life being over. He took the life, allegedly, he took the life of someone. My question is, to be involved in that type of situation, did it start when he got to Alabama? I guarantee you, if I could go back and have a time travel machine, I could begin to show you these little bitty things starting when they're in their youth. And then over time, they evolve. And when they're not dealt with, when they're unchecked, when we just turn the head and we look at it, these are the outcomes on it. I don't even want to touch the NBA, the NFL. We just see story after story after story after story after story. I'm telling you, when you can go back and trace even as young as elementary school, some of these tendencies are there. But having somebody I have to be focused, I got to be involved, right? I gotta work with. We talked about a tribe, right? So you have to understand, okay, these teachers are part of my tribe, so we got to work together, right? I got to figure out. And the reason I want to talk about this particular juncture of it is because it's so heartbreaking to just keep waking up, turning on the TV to see these same things happening over, and everybody's scratching their head. Why? Well, he's making millions of dollars. Okay, let me see. I'm getting a little passionate. Let me calm down. Just because you make millions of dollars, it doesn't change behaviors. Money only magnifies what's in your heart.
Yes, it does.
Whatever's in there. So let me go deeper. Not only does it magnify what's in your heart, it magnifies the behaviors that are already there. Money doesn't change that. It just magnifies it. So what we're seeing at a big scale are things being magnified from things that have been happening for years. So how do we begin to unpack it and get to the root of it so we can fix it? So I know we say all this other stuff, but I'm telling you, it goes back to just some basic things, drawing board type things. So I think when you have teachers like yourself who want to see not little Johnny, and when I say little Johnny, this is a made up name. I don't know anybody, little Johnny. So I don't want to get your emails talking, say you talking about my son. I don't know your son. But when you have teachers like this, because this is what I'm hearing you saying without you saying it, and I'm coming right to you, Jermaine. Not only do I want little Johnny to be successful in 5th grade math, but I'm so looking forward to see how he does in the 6th grade and in the 7th grade, in the 8th grade. And when he graduates, I remember when he was in my class. Like, you are part of a bigger story. You're part of a sentence in their lives. So we want them to put together some great sentences, right? So when they get to the end, they can put a period on it instead of all of these commas, right? And so anyway, I don't want to go too far out, but I really want to go there because, counseling at the age of 20 and 21, we can do that. We're equipped to do it. Well, why not talk about it when they're 9, 10, and 11?
Or why not teach it from the beginning?
And teaching it from the beginning. So anyway, go ahead, Charmaine.
Oh, yes. I think it's very important to generalize academics, social skills, discipline in all areas of life, because you need to be disciplined in your academics. You also need
Absolutely.
to be able to socialize appropriately at school.
Mhm.
There's different ways to handle problems, always choosing to use inappropriate words or maybe get physical with people just because things may not have gone the way you would have liked.
Right.
And also it generalizes into personal life as you grow older. I go to the store and I'm upset with maybe another shopper. I can't have inappropriate words with them or feel that I need to put my hands on them because as an adult, you get arrested. There's other consequences. So just also generalizing the importance of discipline, social skills in your academics, and also in all areas of life because it goes very far.
Yeah, it does. It does. We already understand big picture. I don't know too many colleges are being built, but I do know places where they're building prisons, right? Facilities to put people to go there. And I'll leave that there. But I won't say, and I want to say this in the right way, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but when I look at the landscape of some of the education portions, there are portions of the education that looks like prisons to me as well. Because if you have a kid who keeps ending up on this side of the ledger, after a while, a decision is going to be made that, well, he or she can't function over here in this particular school or this environment. So we've created an environment whereby you can finish out the rest of your school. And they're called alternative schools. They have other different names. And I'm pretty sure those schools have a purpose, I guess to some degree. There may be some cases where you just have to have a kid removed. I would hate to see a kid removed and have to finish out school there. But there are some cases where there are a lot of kids that are there that shouldn't be there. They should be in the regular education format like the other kids. Now, I know these are subjects that are very touchy and people shouldn't be talking about, but we have to, if you see the other system continuing to grow and to expand, right? I know different parts of my area, the graduation rates are down, meaning there are less kids graduating, right? And I see these kids every day walking the streets, hanging out. I'm like, why are you not in school? And the answer is always the same, and the teacher was tripping on me, man. They was tripping on me. This and that was happening on me, right? So do we just ignore it and we just go on like it's normal, or do we stop, have a conversation, have some of the tough conversations like we're doing today to see if we can come up with solutions so we can fix the problem, right? We don't want to put Band-Aids on it, right? We've seen what that's done. How can we fix it, right? And so my thing is, let's see how we can support, our teachers at a greater degree.